Hi there again, YouTube. Bit of Moon from Vila Loon here for you today as part of a disclosure revision based on the last 3 videos, which I've now had a chance to review and hopefully learn a few things from. We're going to do a review video now just to summarize the previous videos and to help us put some context into the places where we're going to be going in our next series of disclosure videos. So I'm going to try and do a summary video after every 3 videos. And I'll try and work on that sort of format for. And also I'm going to do a separate video. In fact, I'm going to incorporate a section on my decision, how this disclosure project is actually part of my own therapy, and just to show you, I've got a sense of humour. I've worn a rabbit t-shirt. It says, I want a rabbit t-shirt for a joke, just to keep it sort of light-hearted, and so that just keep it more entertaining more than anything else, really. So so as I say, this disclosure project is actually a part of my own therapy, and had some difficult things to deal with myself personally, and so at the moment I won't go into my own personal involvement with the deep state or but I will, at this point I'll say that this is part of my own reconditioning, part of my own healing process, trying to put some context into my own life, trying to recondition my own trying to sort of recondition my own psychic space a little bit. So this is one of my therapies that I've given myself to do. And so yeah, we're going to go and summarise the previous 3 videos very quickly, just to outline the cosmic geography, which is apparent to us when we try and think of things in terms of energy cycles. We're going to look at, rather than talk about different densities and integers, we're going to just talk about the progression of different types of consciousness. And we'll sort of start from a plasma. Okay, so the interactions of plasma would be the energy source which creates, well, the cycle which creates energy. So you've got plasma interactions condensing down to energy, feeding the energy cycle, and then energy, the product of energy is time. So the cycles within energy produce the time, and the cycles of time produce provide the structure for space to exist as a consciousness, as a form of conscious awareness. So space has its own conscious awareness, and in the same way as time is transcendental. And then obviously you've got space. For space condensing down, the interactions of space within itself create matter and solids, and so that's the progression of consciousness there. So it helps me to remember that cycle, that progression, in terms, it helps me to remember that everything has its own consciousness. There's a conscious frequency in the mineral world as much as there is in myself. So it helps me to remember. Helps me in my therapy to remember that consciousness is in everything, and that everything is alive in that respect. It's conscious. It's part of my consciousness, and my consciousness is a part of this mineral world, because all of these interactions, there's still the seed of entropy, which always happens. So within all that, we get to the mineral kingdom, and then obviously from these interactions, so from the matter, we then get the fire, the auras and aquas, the rocks, the solids, and then you've got different senses that become. So you've got visual, and you've got audio and taste senses. You've got touch, and all these sensory means. So the interactions of these different densities of consciousness become the geography and the landscape for the next part of the cycle. And then so we get from the mineral world to where the mineral world is created to plants. So they convert the biology. Well, there's lower plants. So these plants have these orders here that they're an order of consciousness, and then from there you get the animals which feed off the plants and turn those chemicals in the plants into proteins and into meat, and then you have the meat is the byproduct of that, becomes the sentient thought about how they're moving within the cosmic geography, and that's sentience. And so then the sentience becomes, so within the sentience of the intelligence, and then there's the emotional, which comes through, which is how things feel in relation. So things start thinking back on themselves and reviewing, and so different. So the energy that's created at the sentient level defines the landscape of what's beyond the sentient level, and so obviously that comes into different directions. You can go with that. You can go. There are different directions within there. The same as there's different orders of fire, and stars and moons and seas. There's different orders within the next progression from the sentience, and there are different expressions of sentience as well. So obviously the sentients are still part of the previous orders. It's just in this, or in the particular order where it can be cultivated at the minute, which is where it's being cultivated. So anyway, there's this order of, and what you have is a sort of cosmic feedback, where basically the cosmic feedback cycle is where basically other orders of density, conscious awareness, interfere with lower orders of conscious, well, not lower orders, but different. So there's a cosmic feedback cycle that we're a part of, and obviously that's where I would like more to be able to understand my own life, because I'm part of that cosmic feedback cycle, and what I'm supposed to be learning from this cosmic feedback cycle. And this is my sort of therapy, my way of doing that. So reviewing the previous videos of Cosmic Disclosure parts 1 to 3, this is Vivian Moon for Vila on YouTube, and I hope that you can basically join me for the next video, where we'll be looking at some more things.